Well, he was born in Greece and he has taught at the University of Hawaii since 1990. He is probably best known for opposing the mass rail system that Mayor Mufi Hanneman has championed. Mayoral candidate Panos is joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Grace. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in early.
Sure.
My first question to you is kind of to tell us a little more about yourself. I think maybe a lot of people may not know you as well. So what sort of practical experience do you think you bring after being a professor for nearly 2 decades?
Well, I've been a professor in engineering for 18 years, but most of my research and applications have been in designing and engineering solutions to traffic for Chicago, for Honolulu, and for Athens. And my projects were quite involved, quite expensive, and the supermajority of them, not only they were built, but they performed way better than the simulation showed. So essentially everything we have done, it's out there in the field, and it has been a successful implementation.
Well, you mentioned that it may be expensive for some of these systems. How do you plan on paying for what you've touted, I know, is the hot lanes?
Hot lanes.
Yes.
First of all, hot lanes come in as a far less expensive system compared to any fixed guideway option, whether that be in rail or rubber tire. Because essentially the technology that runs on it is free, is our cars and our buses, which we have already. Then the hot lanes start from the H1, H2 merge and go to downtown. That is only a 10-mile segment.
But the question is, how would you pay for it? Where do you get the money? You know, for the rail system, they say that they're getting a $900 million from the federal government, and we have the general excise tax. So how would you pay for hot lanes? Oh,
absolutely. I mean, the interesting thing is that I don't know why we even apply for the FTA, which at best will give us a match of 20%. We can do a similar project like the H3 freeway that actually the Federal Highways Administration paid 80% of that. So we can go in after a much bigger purse. Now, as far as the excise tax, essentially the city and county of Honolulu was discriminated against by the legislature by adding 5 or 6 sentences targeting the money for fixed guideway. The rest of the counties in the same legislature can use the money any way they see fit. So all you need to do is go back to legislature and strike out 6 words. I don't think that that is a colossal problem.
Well, let's take a quick look. We wanted to look at some of our questions that you have. This is the City Council proposed ballot question where it says, shall the powers, duties, and functions of the city through its Director of Transportation Services include establishment of a steel wheel on steel rail transit system? And then the question that Stop Rail Now has proposed, which is what you support, is a question right here. Shall an ordinance be adopted to prohibit rail or trains for a mass transit system? Do you feel like it's misleading at all? Because the two questions are opposite. Yours is in the negative form. So if you're for rail, you have to vote
yes.
Yes.
Right.
Do you feel like that's misleading at all?
Well, when you try to draft an ordinance, it has to be as short as possible, as clear as possible, and you are going for the yes vote. There is no way that you will draft an ordinance and you want your people to vote no. So if you don't want rail, you phrase it negatively, so when people say yes, it means no to rail.
You don't think that's confusing?
No, I don't think that's confusing, no.
All right, I guess we'll have to see about that. And we'll be hearing much more from Panos in our debate that is coming up next week that we want to tell you guys about real quick. We are proud to carry a 90-minute live debate between the top candidates for Honolulu Mayor, presented with the Honolulu Advertiser. It all happens Tuesday, September 9th at 6:30 p.m. right here on KGMB9. You can email your debate questions to debate@kgmb9.com. If your question is selected, you will get a chance to ask the candidates live, or you can come to the theater. A select number of tickets will be available, first come, first serve, beginning at 5 p.m. And I know you said you were looking forward to that debate.
Absolutely, yes. We want to get our message out and expose people to our ideas and solutions.
I'm sure we'll be talking much more than rail that time, too.
Oh, you bet.
All right, Panos, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We're going to be right back. You're watching Sunrise on KGMB9.